Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you something that you can do with the texture plates that are for the Sizzix. So I'm going to be using the Celebration paper, the Delicate Dots, which is two-sided designer paper. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my shape. So I'm going to go ahead and put my platform in, and then my first plate. I'm going to then put in the flower layers and my designer paper on top of that. Oh, I'm sorry. The flower layers is a thick die, so I really don't need to put the platform. So I'm just going to put the plate, designer layers, flower layers, my Delicate Dots paper, and then my other platform on top. And I'm going to go ahead and send that sandwich through. Okay, so there we go. And that die provides you with four flowers that nest inside of each other. So you can see we go from large down to a little bitty tiny one for the middle. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is this time I'm going to put my platform in. But I want to go ahead and open it up to the first tab, tab 1, for the texture plates. I'm going to go ahead and start loading that through. Then what I'm going to do is take the new Stampin' Up! Texture plate. Forget what this one's called. But I'm going to be using the large dots. This one is the one that's exclusive to Stampin' Up! By the way. And I lied, I'm not using the large dots. I'm using the small dot side. So you'll see that each of these plates is two-sided. You can see that this side has small dots and the other side has larger dots. For this project I'm using the smaller dots. So I'm going to go ahead and load that in. On top of that, I am going to lay my flowers. And what I want to do is lay them with the side that I want to be raised face down. So I'm going to go ahead and lay those on my plate. I'll just put a few of them on here. Then I'm going to take the silicone mat. You can buy this through Stampin' Up! I'm going to lay that on top of the paper that's on top of the texture plate. Then there is this impression pad. It's harder. I'm going to lay that on top of the silicone. And then lastly, I found that I needed 2 shims. So I just took 2 pieces of Stampin' Up! Cardstock and cut them to the sides of the impression plate. So I'm going to lay those on top. And now I'm going to send the whole sandwich through. Hold it down a bit. It is going to be a bit tight, but I like it that way to make sure I get a very good impression. Get that out. Woo. There we go. And like I said, I like mine to be really tight. If you don't want yours so tight, you don't have to use both of the shims. Okay. So now I'm going to take it loose. And here are my flowers. I'm going to try to bring it up so you can see that there's now the dots raised on my designer paper. Now because the designer paper has a white core, after I get done putting my design on it, I can actually take one of my Stampin' Up! Sanding blocks and lightly sand the top of the raised flowers. And this is going to expose the white core. Okay, and you can see if you can see that, You can see the design is more pronounced since I've now sanded it. So let me show you one of my finished projects. Here we go. So this is a card that I made using the flower layers, cutting that out of the Delicate Dots paper, then sending that through the texturized plate and sanding it off. Isn't that pretty? I also used some of the Delicate Dots as the background here for my sentiment. And the sentiment I used is also from Celebration and is called Congrats. So I think it makes a pretty elegant card. I've taken my So Saffron background, and I've also sent that through the texturized plates, but I used the large dots for that. I don't know if you can see that really well. Okay, and then just added a little basic gray ribbon and basic gray base, and have a nice pretty finished card. Oh, and a So Saffron button in the middle. Hope you enjoyed it.